What's going on, everybody? Back at it again with another video. Yes, I know this isn't Madden. I can see that. I honestly see it. But at the same time, let's just get to, from the last video, you may want to know a little bit more information on it. And the first thing that a lot of people are going to say is, well, if you're being cheated, how about you just play another game? Well, no offense, there are no other football games on the market that are actually as in-depth as, the whole... It's a fantasy game. It's a fantasy team thing. You guys gotta get what I'm saying. Fantasy team, fantasy football. Everybody loves fantasy football. Fantasy football has taken on a mind of its own to have the type of players that you want and use those players to dominate as you want. Now, the first thing that comes to someone's mind is, okay, well, why don't they just pay the guys off? They're just gonna pay them off and shut them up. Well, if they pay them off and gag order them, that basically shows in reality that, hey, we were right this whole time. And the question to mind is, what will happen to so many players? Well, no offense if that is what's going on. EA can no longer hold competitive tournaments because the game is then in fact determined by some unseen force. There's no way that they can actually have so-called competitive tournaments. How can you have a competitive tournament if the game is determined by outside factors, which then in fact also cuts down their money because they no longer are able to produce or have guys come out and play those games like that. I know I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't put forth that much effort in a Madden game. That was a pretty good, like, she tried to hide then like blind me. That was pretty good. Did y'all see that? But honestly, I don't see myself picking up the controller or the sticks again in that manner, because now I know I'm legitimately being forced to buy packs. I'm legitimately being forced to play a game where I'm battling not only my opponent, but I'm battling the computer. I'm battling predetermined animations. I'm battling a predetermined win situation, a predetermined game, meaning I don't have any control of what's going on in the game. I think I do, but I don't. The sad part is, this is what I will probably be forced to do, and I have to come to terms with, hey, am I really going to, that was a nasty grab, am I really going to continuously play and spend my money on a game when in fact that game, said game, makes me not only go against my opponent, but go against the computer, have a drug out sweaty every time, even though my skill outweighs my opponent, I'm still in a situation where I'm screwed. I'm basically trying my best to do everything. I'm outsmarting my opponent. I'm outplaying my opponent. I've got 7,000 yards, but for some strange, unknown, unadulterated reason, I just cannot get that final part to work for me, which is weird because that's normally how stuff works like that. Is that we've been in situations, and everybody can attest to this, you've been in situations where you're just like, hey, why is this happening like this? Why can I just not get that 1 inch? Why can I not get this interception? Because this guy, I should be able to beat him because technically he has no idea what he's doing, but all of a sudden he's just amazing compared to me. And that's where it comes in at, where you'll see a guy who can't stop, who can sit in one defense, but because you're ranked a little bit higher than him, you cannot get what you need. You can't do it because there's a system, a DDA system, which basically counteracts everything that you're gonna do and forces you into a situation where you're playing behind the 8 ball. These are those games where you have noticed, and I know a lot of you guys have those games where you're just like, Jesus, why can't I just, like what's going on? Why can't I get this play off? Why can't I get this pass off? What's going on that's stopping me from doing all this? And you see now that DDA was a big issue in this game. They tried their best to force this on us. Now remember, let me give you a quick outlook of the early days of Madden. Remember the early days of Madden? Well, the early days of Mutt. Remember, when Mutt first came out, you could buy packs with coins. And I think at that point in time, they noticed how many people were buying packs. Now, if you just went out and bought coins, legitimately, you can get the player that you want, or you can get the team that you want immediately. You wouldn't have to keep splurging money on the game like that, because a lot of people just go out, drop $5 on 50K, 60K. But I could see them doing that if they lose this battle, though. Honest to God, I can see them doing that. But in reality, this is why I see it being something that they would have benefited from. And even if the class action lawsuit goes down and they lose, then what? We're back to user play. We're back to like what? Here's the thing. Gut Fox argues. Everybody argues about the game being bad, but here's the thing. We've all been arguing the past couple of years since Madden 15, Madden 25, Madden 16, Madden 17, Madden 18, Madden 19, Madden 20, Madden 21. Let's be honest here. They purchased DDA the very first year. I believe they were setting up for MUT to force you to buy packs. They wanted to test it out. Like everything, they tested out to see how we will react to it. And I think that in reality, we reacted so crazy to MUT that they were just like, hey, you think if we make it where they gotta buy the players with coins instead of buying the coins? Like, what about that? And I can show you a couple of people in Facebook groups and Discords. The first thing that they say when they purchase a pack is, it helps me ease my gambling itch. I love buying packs. It's worth the risk. What is gambling? A risk, a game of chance. That is what MUT buying packs is. Now, here's the problem with that. Let's imagine right now, like in Madden 16 and Madden 17, I never bought coins. I rarely bought packs, so forth. I did it for the stream. If you go back and look at any of my old Madden 16 streams, I was buying packs like crazy to get people involved. But that's something that you should do as a streamer, not as an everyday ordinary person. I don't see that really being something that an everyday ordinary person would want to do. If you want to pop packs, you're basically popping packs to get people in on your live stream so they can see the game more. But at the end of the day, you guys, I see this as being something where I lost my train of thought, but at the same time, it would be very, very bad practice for them to honestly go out of their way to force us to buy packs by changing the outcome of games. I think user ability needs to be something that's very, very big on the scene. It needs to be something that's taken into account your ability to beat your opponent, and not the fact that you have to buy packs.